no lie. Resonating, vibes ain't feeling good. Everything but vibrating. I am at peace. I am at peace.
Yeah, so it's that whole thing, like you're saying, that America wants to be in Ukraine. It's like if the Russians went, all right, we'll be in Mexico. See how much fun that'll be.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. And on the same breath, yeah, obvious, like, I don't know, man, when you see it from that side, just to be able to see it from both sides, because there is two sides of something that...
But why do you want to see the other side? What's wrong with you?
Because otherwise you're just going on, like, you can't make your mind up about anything.
Yeah, but why do you have to make your mind up? Why don't you just go with the mob?
Because
Run with the boys.
Because, like, why not think for yourself? Surely that's what we're here for.
Because when you're not thinking for yourself, you got a lot more time to do other stuff. It's like me, for example.
Was it
right?
not something like if man has a responsibility for his actions?
Yeah.
And if they don't, then they're just a beast, not yet human.
What's wrong with that?
No,
I think the lions are going, oh, maybe I shouldn't be eating the wildebeest because maybe I should be a vegetarian.
Nah, I
Or
don't, because they
maybe
haven't got that.
lactose
Because they're not humans. You get me? They're just running to what they.
Have you seen the Lion King? They can talk.
They're
They can talk, mate. What's the matter with you?
buds,
Look,
they
here's
can
the thing. You spend too much time thinking, right? Now, me, for example, if I go out for dinner, all I'm ever having is apple pie. That's it. For my dessert, don't even show me the menu. I'm having apple pie. If you haven't got apple pie, I'm having nothing, right? Now, what this means is I ain't got to waste time reading the menu going, oh, ice cream or chocolate fudge cake or jam roly-poly, right? Because that's using up a lot of time. So instead, I'm saving time. I'm going, bring me the apple pie. You ain't got none, done. I've saved hours of my life that I can put to more useful pastimes.
Do you know what's funny about that? There's a couple of things funny about that. Number one, I kind of like apple pie too, right?
Oh, how can you not?
It is the one. It is the one. Number two, I'm kind of like that with one thing in a restaurant. So at the end of a meal, when they say, "Would you like coffee?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Do you have a biscuit to go with the coffee?"
Why do you want a biscuit? It's not bedtime.
If they haven't got a biscuit to go with the coffee, then no, I don't want coffee.
What do you mean biscuits? You mean little Italian little bits of cardboard?
Like either an amaretti biscuit. It could be a bourbon, bruv. It could be anything.
Mate,
You just have to have a biscuit with your coffee after a meal.
No, listen, we need to sort this right out right now, man. Custard creams and bourbons, do you see that biscuit has been racially divided into the white biscuit and the black biscuit? It's the same biscuit. Custard cream and the bourbon, they're the same. But we've allowed the artificial creation of the bourbon and the custard cream. We need to just have one biscuit, two layers.
They're not the same, bruv.
Of course they are.
They're not the
They're
same.
cousins. They're cousins.
I mean, when you say they're the same, I'm not. I mean, even if they were the same colour, they're different flavours. Understand what I'm saying?
Mate, it's the flavour don't matter, right?
The flavour don't matter.
The lighter the meat, the sweeter the treat. We all know that. Here's the thing. It's the same biscuit. We've allowed them people in charge, if you want to talk about conspiracy theories, to divide us with bourbons and custard. I'm telling you, mate, it's the same biscuit. Instead, we should have a universal one love biscuit. Bob Marley biscuit, we call it.
And, I mean, yeah, but, like, I don't want it to be flavoured like a custard cream. Because that tastes like custard and cream.
I'm hearing some proper little racial overtones here, mate. I'm not going to. I don't want a bourbon one. I'm ready to debate and discuss. But no, the black man's going. I want a black man biscuit. That's it. Done.
Right, listen.
And if anything, the custard cream is more of a black man's biscuit.
I know enough black people don't like custard creams.
Exactly.
I'm not one of them.
Because you're middle class. You've lost touch with your roots. It starts with rice and peas. Before you know it, you give up the rice and peas, and then you're on to roast beef and custard creams. You need to go on a racial awareness course, mate. That's what you need. Getting back on the custard creams, cornflakes in a mug.
So which is your favourite then? Bourbon or custard cream?
Got to be a bourbon all day long, slightly posher.
I don't even get that. They're like 39p for a massive packet. Where do you buy your biscuits?
Easier shape. You don't get your fingers wet when you dunk it in the tea. But a custard cream, you can, for that last bit, it's touch and go. You've got to hold it by the corner like that. You've got to hold it right up in the corner like that and just...
Conspiracy theories, man. So
I think you've just been for about 5 of them.
We have been for a few, but I wanted to say, that, like, I heard something the other day where someone said that conspiracy theories are a way for people to feel clever, for stupid people to feel clever, like they've done some research and we haven't. But I don't agree with this, and I think that is divisive. Because for me, for example, the government have lied and U-turned and, like, decreased trust in people anyway. Do you know what I mean? So there's two sides to every coin. And, like, for me, there's this whole thing at the moment where people are like, to be scared of taking the vaccine is an invalid fear. but to be scared of catching COVID is a valid fear. And in that's what's divisive to me, because they're two sides of one coin. Until we get to a point where this person can speak to this person without beef and stress, and to accept you have a different view on something and I have a different view on something, and to chat, then both can start to engage. Do you understand what I'm saying? 'Cause we're
Yeah,
both...
but bear in mind, you think that the whole Russia-China ganging up on the West has been hidden by a tennis player.
What,
I think
what
conspiracy theories, mate, I think that's not even your best one.
There's so much in there. I just think like both fears are valid. And until like everyone realizes that both fears are valid, and we then chat about it and go, oh, why do you feel like that? Oh, I feel like that because of this. Oh, right, okay, cool.
Nah, it's too reasonable. Too reasonable, mate.
It is too reasonable.
Why do you want to live in a safe world where there's like everyone's eating custard creams? What is wrong with you?
Oh, mate, I would, for a safe world, I would give up the bourbon and just not eat biscuits and just have custard creams.
What you got to do is shout louder than the other people and you win. That's how it works.
Isn't it, seemingly?
I got into a conversation with a guy on an aeroplane who was explaining to me how the lunar landings never happened. And the other comic that was with me was arguing the case, and I was just listening to both of them. And then the man said, "You're quiet. What do you think?" And I said, "I don't think the lunar landings ever happened." And he went, "Thank you." And then the comic said to me, "Why is that?" I went, "Because the moon is made of cheese. You can't land a rocket on a piece of cheese, right? It would melt, wouldn't it? It's going to melt, right?" And Lance Armstrong never walked on the moon, mate.
And then were they both having ache with you then?
They're both looking at me and I'm going, "Yeah, Lance Armstrong did not walk on the moon. I don't believe it ever happened." And then the guy's going, and Buzz Lightyear as well, whatever his name was, the other guy, he never went on the moon neither. So Phil Collins back in a control shot, nah. Then it just killed the conversation. If you can't convince them, confuse them.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why you just got me thinking of like, see, why do I think David Bowie's been on the moon, but he ain't been on the moon?
No, that was Major Tom got lost on it.
I see. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, what's my last? What's my other subject I want to talk about? I've written it down here somewhere. Kurt Zuma's cat, mate. What's that all about?
So who is Kurt Zuma?
Kurt Zuma is a footballer who played for West Ham. Oh, forever player, we're bubbles.
Right.
And interestingly enough, he's managed to unite the racists behind a black man because now they stopped hating him. They hate his cat. So, you know, kicking the cat, bringing people together, it's got to be a good thing. It's a cat.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so this dude, what happened?
He kicked the cat and slapped the cat.
And then he filmed it.
Well, I think his mate filmed it.
And then put it out on WhatsApp for
Yeah.
So there's two levels to this. Number one, the original thing, I think is like disgraceful, shouldn't be done.
What, kicking cats?
Kicking cats, what's going on?
Is it acceptable to kick any animal at all?
I mean, for example, if that cat was a lot bigger, like a lion, and you were trying to fear for your life, and you were trying to like, it's going to yam you anyway, but you probably get down with a bit of a trying to kick in that. But I don't know, man. The second level of it is sort your mates out, bruv. What is your mate doing?
Filming it and posting it.
Do you know what I'm saying? What are they doing?
So
that's a secondary thing. That's a secondary
thing. It's acceptable to kick.
No, I didn't say it was acceptable. I said the first piece.
You said kick a lion. You said you can kick a lion.
No, I didn't say you could kick a lion. I said if a lion is attacking you, I can imagine that you would be kicking out and trying to do something.
And would that be acceptable to kick the lion?
I mean, I think at that point, it's not about what's acceptable, is it? It's survival.
But would you then, if you saw a man, he survived a lion attack by kicking the lion in his three-piece suite, right, in his knackers?
Yeah. Lion probably wasn't a good example, because if a lion's got you, you're done, innit?
Yeah, but you might get a lucky kick in. Like, well, I've seen Cobra Kai. I know that these things work. So you kick the lion and he gets off you.
Uh-huh.
Is that acceptable to kick a lion?
I mean, gets off you isn't enough with a lion, though, is it? Because he's still there.
No, not it gets off with you. You're not going to kiss the lion. It just gets off of you. It stops attacking you. It reconsiders its previous decision.
Right, and then
because you kicked it in the ghoulies, right?
See, that's why a lion isn't a good example.
A leopard.
Nah, man, it has to be like even a shark's not a good example.
Hamster. Why do you like to kick fish? Right, fish ain't got legs, so you think it's right to kick disabled people as well. That's where it leads to.
Well,
that's how it starts.
Someone unfortunately recently passed due to a shark in Australia, and
they got hit by the shark.
Yeah, and I'd imagine that they were kicking out and that, trying to.
No, you know what his thing was 3 months ago? He signed a petition to stop having a net there to keep the shark out.
You're joking?
No. So they got a petition up. We don't want a net around the bay because it's the shark's natural habitat. So they didn't have the net, and the shark, to say thank you, ate him.
Was he actually involved in the
thing? Yeah. That's called karma, mate.
Wow.
That's called karma. Don't go in the sea. I've seen that the sea is for the fish and the sharks. Don't go in there. Trees, that's for the monkeys and apes. Don't go in the trees. Just stick to the roads, and you can't go wrong.
Stick to the roads.
Stick to the roads.
Ancient things. Water.
But it's funny that
Trees.
he kicked his cat, and everyone lost their minds. Like, who's kicked a cat?
And they've
Wow.
made chants up and stuff.
And he got £250,000 fine. Wow, Luis Suarez called Patrick Everard an N-word and got fined 25 grand. So that means that kicking a cat is 10 times worse than racially abusing 10 black men. So what I'm going to ask you then, is there an exchange rate of racial abuse to cat kicking that we'd think was acceptable?
I mean, no. is the simple answer.
Is there could we go down to Travelodge and go, yeah, I want to, I've got a cat here, I can kick it, but can I instead racially abuse 8 black people? Is that equivalent?
This is it. Exactly. And people did go up in arms. But also, man, I don't know. I try not to focus on the negative, bruv.
No, you just get back to your tennis players. Get back to your happy place. Tennis players and women.
No, but look,
dreams.
Look, we talk about mental health, innit? I could sit there, and think to myself, as a nation, it's seemingly this way it's being portrayed to me through the media is that people have more beef with somebody kicking a cat than supporting the Black Lives Matter. Yeah. Not Black Lives Matter, but supporting racial equality, because it didn't end up being Black Lives Matter. It changed about 5 times, didn't it? The taking a knee thing. And it became supporting racial and equality.
I don't know. I got lost ages ago, mate. When Primark started bringing out T-shirts, I was thinking, something right here.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? But I've said from the beginning, man, I weren't really on that. I'm on the sentiment. I agree with the sentiment. I don't agree with the movement. But I digress, man. I just think I could sit there and ponder my mind on that and get really dark about it, and or I can just think about more positive things that I can affect.
Like tennis, like ice skating. So instead of sitting there worried about the racial injustice versus animal rights, you just watch some 15-year-old girl falling around on ice. Is that where we're at? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what I'm hearing.
That seems like how you've summed that up, I suppose.
It just seems to me that we got our priorities wrong in this country. It just seems very kicking a cat, obviously wrong, unacceptable. And let's talk about other things that are unacceptable. It's like this whole thing with should trans people be allowed to use women's changing rooms? Go, whoa. So let's just talk about why women aren't safe. How many women have been attacked by trans women in changing rooms, and how many have been attacked by their uncles, and how many have been attacked by their classmates and their brothers' friends, and da 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 da. No, we don't want to talk about safe spaces. We just want to pick on a few people who want to transition. It's shocking. But nobody cares until you kick a cat. Maybe one of them trans people needs to go in the dressing room and kick a cat.
For real. Well, I suppose you could think about it as is there an exchange rate in that? Or more to the point, if you want to get some views, I mean, don't do this at home. But everyone's talking about Zuma.
So what are you saying?
Well,
kick a cat.
I'm saying don't try this at home. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying.
Don't try kicking a cat at home.
Nah.
Oh, you said just kick street cats.
I mean, I don't know any street cats.
I'm hearing you being very provocative.
I left that lifestyle a long time ago.
Top cat, he lived in the street. He never got kicked, did he? Old Officer Dibble used to pick on him.
Yeah,
other than that, though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. No,
Zuma weren't in Top Cat, though, was he?
No. It just fascinated me. And it just kind of must confuse the hell out of the rest of the world going, wow, they're losing their minds over a man kicking a cat. Meanwhile, a member of the royal family is just paid £12 million for whom he's never met.
But again, when you say losing their minds, why do we think people are losing their minds? It's obviously because what you see media-wise, right? So that's who controls really what you're thinking on the respective. Were people actually losing their minds as much as the media was putting it out there? Or were people more concerned? Yes.
Yeah, I think yes.
You think?
Yeah, this whole cat thing, mate. It's just people talking about it all the time on the radio, friends talking about it.
That's media, mate. That's media. The radio's media, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
But did you have a conversation with any of your friends about him kicking a cat?
I mean, there was a few messages thrown about. Do you know what I mean? Their song, West Ham's song, is "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles," and there was one that was "I'm Forever Kicking Tiddles" or something. But within minutes of the thing coming out, it was the speed of response that was funny. But,
I reckon the dogs are behind that. I think the dogs are kind of trying to go on, kick the cat, mate. There'll be some RSPCA guide dog for the blind gang together going, look, cat's got too much of a good reputation. They're the troublemakers. Let's get them sorted.
to be in your mind for 30 minutes is amazing.
You want to try it 24 hours a day, mate. It's just it's tiring.
Yeah, man. So no, I'm not saying what Zuma did was right. I'm also suggesting that he has to look at his mates. Do you know what I mean?
Judge a man by the company he keeps
Indeed.
and the cats he kicks. And the thing is, he could have kicked a bucket. There's long shot to kick the bucket, right? Just listen to the song and act out. There's no go kick the. I think this is misses. I told you that's the problem, mate. It's predictive text. That's what's caused all that problem.
Predictive text caused a video.
Because I wanted to kick my pussy, right? And the kick was spelt wrong. So he's read it as, you want me to kick her pussy? All right.
And she was like, mash up the pussy.
Predictive text, it won't kick, she was trying to spell. So he just read it wrong. It's always the man's fault at the end of the day. Poor communication.
Well, that's a way to put it, I suppose. So yeah, we've covered a lot today, man. Covered a lot. Anything good next week? Oh, we're back to gigging as well, both of us as well, aren't we?
Yep.
Had a good laugh in front of people.
I'm off to John Simmett's gig tomorrow in Birmingham.
Okay.
Fantastic. Great gig. And that's an urban gig.
Uh-huh.
Full of urban people.
I mean, I never got that, man. As in, I get it. I get what it means. But, like,
Urban.
It doesn't fit to me, bruv. Because
People who live in a city. I'm not doing country voice. It's people who live in a city.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not even going to go there with what I was thinking. We'll leave that for the next one, bruv. But no,
Do
have
it.
a good gig. Have a good gig.
I'll try to.
When are you doing that?
If I don't, it's their fault. Tomorrow.
Ah, good. If you don't, it's their fault, isn't it?
If I don't, I'd say it to myself. If you're
Just-
laughing, I know I'm funny. If you don't
Say
get
to-
it, something wrong for you. You need to go and get yourself some help.
Get back home and go, smashed it on Facebook.
Okay. Bring your Tupperware. Fill it with laughter.
Fill it with laughter. Right, big up, man. He's John Ryan.
He's Jonathan Prince and his funny biscuits.
Jonathan Prince loves bourbon biscuits.
I expect a rap about that next time out.
I'll get it. I'll get one done. Right, big up, man. Peace.
And back at you.
We no lie. Resonating, vibes ain't feeling good.